I never go to Milan Fashion Week because I don't get invited to the shows that I'm actually interested in. MM6, Prada, Marni is something that I would really love to see, even though it's different from my style slash aesthetic slash everything. Like, I love to get inspired by something that's like complete opposite from me. And Marni definitely does that. I'm also interested in Blumarine, Diesel, uh, Armani. That would be fucking cool to see. Yeah, I would say like those. Also, Vivetta. It's a brand, an upcoming, or is it already quite big? Show that designer that is quite interesting in Milan. But I don't go to Milan Fashion Week because I never get invited to these shows. So I would just end up doing stuff like presentations, and just because Italy slash Milan Fashion Week, they don't really have an interesting scene when it comes to underground fashion. Then, like, I don't want to go to a presentation of the Attico. Like, I don't. The Attico is not a brand that excites me, to be honest. Like, it's okay. Like, obviously, I would go to see to watch, but I wouldn't necessarily. Yeah, probably I wouldn't go. It's like an Italian version of Jacquemus, if that makes sense. But anyways, yeah. So that's why I don't go to Milan Fashion Week. Meanwhile, Paris Fashion Week has such a huge underground scene. Presiat, Vaquera, um, who else? Enk. Who else? Rui Built. It's another very interesting brand. Who else? I'm like, there are so many, and now nothing comes to my mind. I'm gonna put some more on the screen. I'm thinking also of some shows that I'm gonna attend. Ah, Vine Santo. Jesus, I was forgetting Vine Santo. So, but anyways, because we're not invited to those shows, but we like to watch anyways, and we like to review anyways, and we like to talk about it. So let's talk about Prada, MM6, and all of my favorite shows that happened in Milan this season, autumn winter 2025. Oh my god, hi, by the way. I feel like I didn't even say hi or anything. I just went straight into it because I just did a short video for Prada for my Insta, and I was just like already so much in the topic. Ooh. But yeah, hi and welcome back to the pod. Grab your drink of choice. I have water and lemon here with me. Again, see you in 3 months in the tiniest bikini. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm trying to cut a little bit my coffee daily dose. We talked about this. I'm not gonna get into it. I have a problem. No, yeah, I have a problem. That's okay. I'm gonna solve it somehow. Bear with me. I'm drinking water. So grab your drink of choice and let me know what it is, by the way. Let me know what are you drinking while listening to the pod, while listening to this specific episode. I want to talk about autumn winter Milan Fashion Week and the collections that we saw so far. I won't do every collection. I will just do the ones that I like the ones that I actually like the most, and the ones that I feel that are more interesting to talk about. For example, Blumarine, which is a brand that somehow I don't wear, but I always end up looking at what the fuck they're doing, because it's one of these brands that was extremely cool when I was growing up in Italy. It was like, if you had Blue Marine, if you were wearing Blue Marine, you were the cool kid in high school type of thing, together with Diesel. I think like Blue Marine is the baby sister of Diesel, okay? Diesel is like this big brother, like he's cool, he's like already in high school maybe, and like Blue Marine is this little girl, like she dreams of being an icon, and she's trying to be an icon, but she's still in middle school, and like she looks up to her big brother. She kind of copies a little bit his style, but she's a girl, so she will be a little bit more cheerful. She will play with prints more, she will play with flowers more, with bows, diamonds, and stuff like that. So this is how I envision Blue Marine to be. Blue Marine, by the way, has like a creative direction history of drama, because there was Brognano for some time, and he's the one. He's like the Glenn Martens at Diesel. Brognano was at Blumarine. He brought back Blumarine after so many years that this brand kind of lost its glory. He brought it back with this whole like death mermaid, goth mermaid aesthetic, if that makes sense, which I adored. Like I personally adored. Like I still dream of wearing those things every day. Or I definitely try often to recreate that siren like silhouette with the train. You know, I love those things. This shit, it's like my favorite. So I really liked his direction, but then he was. I don't know if he quit, if he was fired, but Walter Chiapponi came in for just one short season. So it was a very short experience. And Blue Marine was back to horror. Like horror. Like I'm talking horror. I'm talking horror. I can't stop. I'm talking horror in terms of like leopard tights. It kind of gave a vibe of Baume Vergarten, this one Copenhagen based brand that like it was a parody of Baume Vergarten because Baume Vergarten like felt cooler than Blue Marine. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it. And I think Blue Marine is kind of lucky to get David Coma, which is this Georgian designer. I am really following his work because I don't know, I see how he's growing and I really enjoy what he's doing. At the beginning I was like, but then like slowly but surely I'm getting so much more into like his silhouettes, textures and like the things that he designs I just like a lot. So I didn't think it was a proper match made in heaven when I heard the news, but I can see how David Coma's aesthetic is translating into the heritage of Blue Marine, and I don't dislike it. So it felt for me it was more of a, we always say Blue Marine girl, and I felt like it was more like a Blue Marine woman now. Like this girl is growing up, and David Coma understood that, and he understood that she needs more. She needs to feel sexier. She needs to feel more grown up, and I really enjoyed it. I really really enjoyed this show. If you cut out like the flower things that I don't like, the prints things that I don't like, if you cut out the color outfits, the black looks were sick. I would just put some things on the screen. If you're on the video version of the podcast, you will be able to see what I mean. It felt like a goth girl that goes to like a party in Paris, something like that. Like there was a lot of sheer, a lot of like also very very much flowy silhouettes, which I find extremely comfortable to wear, especially when you have sheer or you have something transparent, like a transparent fabric, because you can actually play with that sexiness, like you feel extremely comfortable because everything is quite flowy, but then with the material and the see-through, everything like becomes quite sexy and immediately like mysterious in a way that as much as a transparent top can be mysterious. You often think about like this Y2K, early 2000s girly girl aesthetic when you think about Blue Marine, and it just felt like 2000s but grown up. That's the first thing that came to my mind. There was this one denim look that felt kind of a flop, kind of a flop. Not my favorite. It looked like an attempt of doing something similar to Y Project, if that makes sense, but mm, I don't see the vision there. One thing I was extremely surprised to like were the boots. There were some like very tight boots and some very oversized boots. Like I wouldn't go to Blue Marine for shoes, but I guess now it's becoming a thing. I also saw these 3D details that are very Pradesque. We've seen them also at Jil Sander, in particular this season, where yeah, it was just like quite like it really also because Jil Sander is way more similar to Prada. It was really giving Prada, and in this case, like it's something that Prada started, but that doesn't mean that other designers can't interpret that. And I actually really like 3D details more than I would actually think. I will like to play with that in the future for my outfits, especially if you wear monochrome like I often do. I often wear black. So the fact that I'm like having some like 3D like some 3D details just creates like such a different dimension, and like it just so much more to the outfit than just classic monochrome full leather. Or like I just love to have different textures. Like this is the only way to elevate a monochromatic outfit fit, I would say, like look. It's just if you play with textures, if you play with materials, and the 3D details, like they're sick. Jil Sander is another brand that's seeking new creative direction. Apparently, this is the news that we got after the last show. I have to say, I really appreciated the playfulness in Jil Sander, which tends to be quite luxury. I feel like I use this term too much. I abuse of this term of quiet luxury. But you know what I mean, like everything like quite clean cuts, clean fabric and stuff like this. But they really played a lot with textures, materials, and I enjoyed that. Even I loved the whole like ombre part of the collection. You guys know that I'm obsessed with ombre. I'm trying so much to like integrate it in my wardrobe, to integrate like to play with it actually, but it's quite hard because ombre is basically like two blocks of color, right? So the way where the ombre is placed in like a full, imagine like a full look, where you have the ombre placed, it's gonna mark your body. Okay, so it's gonna make your body proportions perceived in a specific way. For example, I'm 159 centimeters tall. I always tell you that. Like, I'm super short. And imagine halfway to my body, I get this ombre thing, and it will just make me look even shorter. So that's my biggest scare on like a full look. I would wear it because it's just fun, but I don't think it will really make my figure look better. So in that way, I'm trying to integrate it in different parts, like in other parts, like for example, it's a bag, or maybe it's a detail in the outfit, maybe it's just the pants, or maybe it's something else. But also with the pants, then your legs look shorter, and this will be a big problem for me. The way Jill Sander did it, nevertheless, was chef's kiss. Bijou. I adored it, and it gave that little extra to this collection that I think it was needed. MM6, it's literally that one show that I look with the intent of buying. Like everything else, it's more like an art to me. Prada, I mostly look to buy maybe the accessories, or yeah, maybe sunglasses is something that I always check at Prada that I would like to buy. Shoes, um, when I will finally decide to invest in a good pair of Prada shoes, hopefully not heels, definitely not heels because they're a little uncomfortable for me. I think maybe it's also like for under millimeter, I look with an eye of yes, I could buy that, but yeah, the rest no. So I was looking at MM6 and really with the intent of what I want to get, and there were so many things. First of all, I've always wanted from Margiela, always wanted, it's stupid to say, it doesn't mean always wanted. It means that I've been looking around for it and I still did not find my, let's say, my favorite that I would actually buy. The item in question is a cyclops sunglasses. Margiela had some also from early 2000s that I've tried on in different vintage stores. They really did not fit my facial features, or like the shape of my head, or whatever the fuck it was. I looked horrible. So I was really eyeing the sunglasses in this MM6 show. They were crazy cool. And there is a similar pair for that just came out with the collaboration between Margiela and Gentle Monster. I was like, I wanted to say Louboutin, but no, that's like a different topic. With Gentle Monster, I think it's the third collaboration that they're having, and probably sold out everywhere when they're gonna come out. But the thing is that they have this logo on the side, and sometimes, like, I feel like I don't want the sunglasses to be that recognizable. Like, I tried on different pairs from the previous Gentle Monster collaborations, and yeah, I don't know. The logo in the end, it's like, ugh, I don't know if I really want that logo every day on my face. Although the logo is extremely beautiful, but it's still a logo, you know. And sometimes, like, no, actually, on a long term, it really bothers me. So yeah. But what else did I like from the MM6 show? The shoulders were fucking crazy. Like, shoulder pads, like, look at my shoulders, like, seriously, they are so small. I have this type of body, you know, like, my shoulders are tiny, like, tiny, tiny, tiny. I don't even work out, so I won't really like pump my shoulders, if that makes sense. When I wear shoulder pads, when I wear big shoulders, I feel like I'm king of the world. Like, I feel so powerful. You guys have no idea. I'm like, I feel like I'm even like 20 centimeters taller or something. So I adore shoulder pads. Adore. Sometimes it kind of feels like 80s. I don't mind that, although I'm more inspired by 70s fashion, I would say, rather than 80s. But yeah, that fucking power suit thing, it's a feeling for me. It's not even a thing, it's like a feeling, a proper feeling. And I'm very much excited to see how these pieces are when they're gonna come on the market. I've seen some crazy cool jackets with shoulder pads. I've seen sweaters with shoulder pads. They were like insane. And there was this like green gray shade that was interesting to pair with black, to style with black. So I might get a sweater that's not black, like, or gray. Like, why not? Let's like switch it up. Why not? I'm also very much into the shoes. MM6, it's like, the baby of Margiela. Like, you look at Margiela and you're like, fuck, I won't be able to afford that. I won't be able to walk in that, or like, when am I gonna wear that, But it's inspiring, and sometimes you're gonna try to recreate the silhouette. Sometimes you're gonna try to recreate the makeup, like with Spring Summer Artisanal for Margiela. But MM6, it's like, yeah, I want those sunglasses. I get the sunglasses, and it's different feeling, and a different feeling as well as different type of style. Like, it's definitely, MM6 is way more toned down. It's way more everyday wear, but that's what feels to me. What, like, if I have to describe quiet luxury, MM6 is for me quiet luxury. Let me explain. You get the quality of, sometimes a little bit less, but that's another thing, of Margiela. You get the hint of those crazy artsy styles, silhouettes, but you can wear it every day. And it looks like, look at the MM6, at any of the MM6 looks of this past collection. It's so much like, who is she? Like, she's so easy every day, but she looks so luxury, but she's so much into fashion. That's the type of woman I want to be, or I want to be perceived as. And it's different than quiet luxury, in my opinion, because quiet luxury, let's say the raw, like, it just does not have that flair, that, like, the little hint to punk, to like, I'm crazy, like, look closer and you'll figure out how crazy I am. Let's talk about Diesel, only because I want to talk about Glenn Martens. You guys know I love him. Like, Glenn Martens past, present, and future was in this collection. 77 looks, like, what is that? Also, like, Milan shows, like, how many looks do they have? Like, it's just so much. Okay, it's fine. 77 looks. It's a lot. Like, there are it's like the past life, the present life, and the future life of Glen Mattis, ladies and gentlemen, right here, right now, with one collection. It looks like different, it's like a puzzle of different collections, if that makes sense. He hits you at some point with some quiet luxury, and you're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what is what is that? Why there was like this new Calvin Klein kind of energy at some point, like it was so out of the blue. And then you have the décortiqué tweed. Oh my god. First of all, you guys, absolute favorite word in the world. Favorite word in the French language, décortiqué. This is a technique that Margiela uses to kind of like reduce to the bone the design of some item. Like, let's say it's a shoe, like the décortiqué techniques brings that shoe to like its own raw construction. This is something that I was saying also in the video that I did about what was it, the Lubu collaboration with Margiela. And they had these boots like with this décortiqué technique, very cute. Go watch, go see the boots. Actually, I think they should be releasing very soon. Anyways, décortiquer is my new favorite word. I was wondering if like French people say that. If someone asks you like, how do you feel? I feel like I want to say décortiquer. Like, if someone during Fashion Week stops me and they're gonna be like, Amelie, how are you? I'm gonna be like, I feel décortiquer. I'm fucking reduced to the bone, you know? It's such a cool word. I love it. So this décortiquer tweed that we've seen at Diesel, I'm like, what is it? Why? Is it like, what type of hint is that? Because tweed is so Chanel. Like this Pied de Poule is like Chanel, but then it felt like Chanel after Weekend in Berlin. Like destroyed, like all of this destroyed, like the punk version of Chanel. Kind of cute, but also not necessary. One thing though that I want to focus on as well is the skin sweater. What was that? Like the skin leather sweater. Oh my god, like it was insane. Like, is this the future of Glen Martens? Is he gonna play with these elements at Margiela? Because I feel like, okay, we had those elements of White Project and this whole like playing around the body type of thing. Then we had the whole diesel, classic diesel items, which is the present of Glen Martens, right? The diesel denim thingies, denim looks. Then you have like these 2D shirts. And I remember Glen Martin saying something like, you know, like he comes from architectural studies. Like he studied architecture before realizing that it wasn't for him, because first there was too much math and he didn't like that. He wanted to be even more creative, and architecture wasn't really the right field for him to be extremely creative how he felt to be. So he then went to study fashion. But you see that he's coming from architecture, because he said something like, I see the body as like, I see the outfit like a building that I'm creating, putting together around someone's body. And this image that he created in my head by saying that is just so much Glen Martens. And when I heard him saying that, I was like, okay, and now it makes sense. And now everything makes sense. It's exactly how it is. Like he basically just put into words the feelings that I was getting by looking at the stuff that he was creating. There are different things that make me like Glen Martens. I've been following his work since the beginning of my project. The first design pieces that I invested in that were not shoes, because I'm obsessed with shoes since forever. So shoes would always be the thing that I would invest in first. But the first thing that I got that was not shoes and it was designer was from his collaboration with Jean Paul Gaultier. This whole like morph dress, guys. I talked about this dress already. I think you know the one that I'm talking about. The fuck you hand, the earring, the fuck you hand, like it's huge like this. that I have, it's also from the same collection, so from the same collaboration. So I always kind of followed and admired and aspired to actually wear his creations, but I realized that that it's deeper than that. He really democratized, or he's trying to democratize as much as possible, of course, the whole concept around exclusivity at a fashion show. He always tries to involve schools, fashion schools. He always tries to involve young people who are into fashion and want to go to fashion show. For example, one of Diesel's shows was actually a rave and everyone was invited. Then he always has these like collaborations with school and stuff, and I really enjoy the fact that he gets it, you know, like I feel like he's kind of like one of us. Like I wanna like I'm here and I want to feel people welcome, and it's fair to include as many people as possible. I just took my computer because I think right now Sportmax is happening. Sportmax is a brand that's it's kind of like the spin-off of Max Mara, like the young sibling of Max Mara. If Max Mara is the quiet luxury of Italy, if I say this word in this episode one more time, kill me now, cancel this podcast, okay? Anyways, I don't know how to define it. Like, what is Max Mara if not fucking quiet luxury? I don't know, but okay, I will learn some synonyms for the next ones. But for now, let me say that Max Mara is quiet luxury. So basically, Sportmax is like the experimental version, as much experimental as you can say, of Sportmax of Max Mara. Okay, it's more sleek, it's more androgynous, it's more like experimental. It has like sharper silhouettes as well. It's like a classic Italian rich kid, but that wants to look subversive. This kid would wear Sportmax. So I'm gonna go through the show now because I was not able to actually watch everything. So I'll go through the show now, and probably there's gonna be a second part to this. Let's see how much I can do with Paris Fashion Week, which is like upcoming, starting just in a couple of days. So you guys already know that for Paris Fashion Week, you can see the content on different channels. I don't know how much I will be able to be present here. I will come here to vent, that's for sure. So if you will see me announcing like some episode during Paris Fashion Week, you will know something happened. Shit went down. She's there to vent. Let me see what that is about. So because otherwise, to do like a proper review, I think I will just do it after Paris Fashion Week, because I won't be able to do short form content, long form content in terms of reviews, as well as in terms of being present and filming and doing the content also while I am actually at events, at shows. And I have some nice surprises for you. I think you really will enjoy what's gonna happen, hopefully. But you know, I always accept feedback. And by the way, always remember to rate this podcast, because if you rate it, then the ranking will go up and the podcast will be viral. And we want the podcast to be viral. And if you see me around, don't judge me for what you're gonna see. You're just gonna see a tiny, crazy Italian woman going around yelling to everyone and or to herself. But always come and say hi.